Hey, welcome to Podstache. Before we jump into things, we'll do the round table again. I am Justin Shank. To my right, I have
Koopa.
There.
Christopher Lee.
Over there.
Banana.
And next to Banana.
David Lee.
Not Banana.
Apple.
Yeah.
And before you go into it, say previously on for Podstache.
Yeah, previously on Podstache, we're talking about the Randy Blythe arrest, the manslaughter trial right now. Like I said the last episode, who knows what's going to be going on with the case when this episode airs, because it's been kind of changing every couple days.
Yeah. But I mean, as it's set right now, they don't have a release date for him out of
There's
jail.
no release date.
So,
yeah.
but I think what we should do.
Do they have a court date?
No. The thing is, that he had his bail posted Monday. It was supposed to be out Monday, and the prosecution made the move to deny bail. Reading a couple different websites and people that kind of know the law a little bit, and they were posting on it. A few different people said that move by the prosecution is simply to keep the trial going because they have no evidence, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's what a couple people said, and I don't see any really solid evidence that he did anything. The thing, I don't know how their legal system works, but here it's innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. You have to, there has to be beyond damning evidence. Exactly. Beyond a reasonable doubt with solid evidence. That's why, Casey Anthony got off. Yeah, she might have killed her fucking kid, but the thing is, I was following that trial, and the evidence they put forth wasn't enough to prove her guilty.
Yeah.
And that's sad because she might have killed her kid. Yeah. But at the same time, if your prosecution doesn't do a good enough job doing a case against you, there's no reason you should be held guilty in a way.
Yeah.
If you can't be proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
What I think we should do is, because right here, I guess they have, so as it stands, they have 7,577 signatures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read all these signatures, and if you don't hear your name called,
filibuster.
No.
I kind of pulled a douche move yesterday. I went through all my friends who like Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And I literally tagged them all in a Facebook status.
Well, and the thing
and said, all of you need to sign this now because you all like Lamb of God.
Because before you tagged me in that thing, there was another thing going around, and I signed that. But yeah, then this one popped up, so I'm like, fuck it, better safe than sorry. So I signed this one too. But I guess they need about a little over 17,000.
Well, that's the really funny thing is I officially don't like Lamb of God via Facebook. It didn't stop me from.
Well, right. Well, yeah, and if you read into the case, if you think it's right, which it should be, if you don't like Lamb of God or not, sign the petition. Help us help American citizens out because they're. I can't imagine. I can't even fathom what it must feel like to literally be doing your gig, day job. This is the job. Stepping out to a work and getting arrested and tossed in a foreign country's jail. I can't imagine what he feels like. Well, literally, I can't imagine what he feels like. I can't imagine what his family and friends feel like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the fans, it hits us hard enough too because, I'll segue into this next point. They have the donation fund set up for his legal fees to help him out. I'm one of the few, Lamb of God is one of the few bands, I don't even do this with Prince albums, where I've bought their albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the few bands, and I hate to say it, I download a lot of shit, but I've bought their albums. If every fan who hasn't bought the Lamb of God album they don't downloaded donates $10 the cost of an album to that fund, they'd have enough money to fucking send the best lawyer in the country over.
2.5 million people.
Yeah.
If half those people donated $1.
Yeah.
$1 fucking dollar. I sound like a fucking charity thing right now.
Phones are open
for a penny a day. But for $1 fucking dollar, if half the fucking fans on there donate a fucking dollar,
We got Rep and Thick on the phone.
yeah, right, yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
But here's what kills me too is they had the vigil, the little support for Randy in his hometown Saturday. 100 people showed up. How sad is that?
So shitty.
I go on. Well, right. Guar was all there.
I'd love to have been there.
Yeah. Going on the. I'm on Twitter. I follow Mark Morton, the guitarist, on Twitter.
Me too.
Yeah. He seems like a nice dude. He responds to a lot and he retweets a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Have you seen the bullshit that's been going down with the fans because of this now too?
Oh, for the fun thing?
When they set the donation fund, there was a huge backlash.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, what are you asking for our fucking money? You all got big bank accounts.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. You guys get it. Sit behind your computer. There's also people now bashing Mark Morton for not retweeting their support for Randy Blythe posts. Some guy actually went so far out of his way to create a status called Respect Your Fans. a fake Twitter profile and start bashing him. And he went back and forth and played it real good.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's a serious fucking thing, man.
Well,
a guy's in fucking jail.
And
you know,
well, I think the main reason they opened up that fund for people to donate to is
People were
because
asking for it.
because people were just like, hey, what's a way that I can help out? What's a way that I can help? It's not like it wasn't them just doing it and be like, oh, we're poor, help us, you know.
Right.
It's just because fans were actively asking, like, hey, how can I help
and it's
out,
not like
you
the
know?
money goes anywhere. It goes towards his legal fees.
Yeah.
If there's more money in there, it goes towards a charity of Randy's choosing
Yeah.
after he's out of jail.
Oh yeah.
God hoping, Lamb of God willing, that he gets out of this jam, which I really think he will. It's just a matter of time. Who knows how much time?
Yeah.
But
He didn't even get to jail.
God damn it, Dave.
He went straight to jail.
But I mean,
Do not pass go.
this shit has me really kind of spun up, man. Like, I mean, when I saw the article Monday about him being denied bail and stuck in jail more, like I got sick to the stomach.
I will say a couple things, and that is, I do think that if he in fact did do it, that there should be consequences, whether or not he is a rock star
what,
or not.
though? Done what? Well, did what? Killed someone?
If he
The
threw
kid-
someone to the
okay.
ground that at one point ended up getting hurt, that is a manslaughter charge, man.
Someone walks into your property with the intent of coming at you full force. You shoot them. Is that manslaughter on you?
Yeah.
Or is that you
but
defending?
He didn't
your
come.
job?
He wanted to go on stage. He didn't want to hurt anybody.
multiple times.
A concert venue is different from your property.
Right.
But still, that's a place that everyone knows you don't go to. It's probably posted. I know all the venues in Chicago have.
Yeah, but
posted,
what they could have done
no
is they could have had
moshing,
security
so-and-so.
grab him, take him out, and
Well, security did grab him after he was on stage. After he got by security.
The only problem is
they threw him back, right?
Well, security threw him back.
Okay. All I'm saying is that I understand why they tried to deny bail to a certain extent because,
They had no case.
well, because he's a guy that could probably get out of the country pretty quick if he wanted to, and then it's
The
a
judge
weakness.
Put him on a no-fly list, so he can't leave the country by plane.
By boat.
Yeah. Well, he's considered a
flight risk.
A flight risk because they say he's violent, so he's not allowed to be out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's what sucks. Even if he was out on bail, there's 100% chance that he wouldn't be allowed out of the country anyways.
right.
It's I don't know. It gets very hazy just because I mean it's just known fans aren't supposed to go on stage. You
Right.
know?
You stage
Now-
dive, you get on stage and
Yeah.
you jump. You don't come at someone in the band. You don't
Yeah.
jump
Right.
on stage, and get up here on
Yeah.
him like that.
No, I don't.
doing
I
multiple
don't
times.
disagree, and I think he's had a lot of things against him that doesn't sound right. But at the same time, I think no one's really above the law.
Well, right. Yeah.
And I think I'm sure there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of American cases that are similar to this that no one knows about because they're normal person,
Right.
and we're really up in arms in this. So you got to understand too. Like, I think there is a process that he has to go through, and it does suck that it's mistreating him a little bit. But
Just went up 22.
you know, there you go. But I will take that side, and I would assume that he probably had nothing to do with it. And again, when they said, "Why didn't you say anything to us when this happened?"
Well, and that's another fucked up thing. This happened 2 years ago.
Right.
For 2 years, he never had any notice. No one, not his management, his lawyers, was
Right.
never given notice that he had a warrant for his arrest.
Right.
That's
how
that's
the
illegal,
average
man.
American citizen lives, though. You
But
don't
that's-
know if you really have one.
But I mean, that's the thing, man. It's they'll notify somebody that you have, and especially an international murder case.
Yeah.
someone's notified. Someone has to be
Right.
notified.
That to me is wrong.
That's wrong in so many ways because.
2 years later, that's a little bit of an issue.
And not to make it sound any righter or anything, if they would have known that was the case, they wouldn't have gone to that country.
Yeah.
I mean, like my buddy at work was telling me he's like a rap dude, and he Bone Thugs, they're from Atlanta, Georgia. They don't play shows in Atlanta because everyone in Bone Thugs has arrest warrants in Atlanta. So they'll play all the outside cities, but they won't play Atlanta. I mean, if that's the thing, if they would have known they had an arrest warrant in that country, they just wouldn't have gone to that country. Which, right or wrong, it's. You got to be notified when you have a fucking warrant for manslaughter arrest. To just
they could squash it without having to deal with him sitting in jail.
To me, it sounds like it's something a bit bigger. It's something that got press to the Czech government.
Well,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
no,
what
they
it's-
got it checked. I mean, like, they're
and literally that makes sense.
in the money.
$200,000. That was, I think it's like 4 million whatever Czech rublebs or whatever the fuck it is. But it was something like 4 million in their money and $200,000. That's a lot of money. Wow. No matter which way you slice it.
It is interesting to say.
And now
too,
that money goes straight to the Czech Republic because he's not getting it back.
Yeah.
You know, that right there kind of reeks of fucking, you know, shiesty law.
Right.
You know, that he's not getting his bail back. Because even here, you post bail, you go to court, and you get out of it, or you get your sentence, you get some of that money back. I've posted bail for someone before. I posted like $700 bail for somebody before. And like, I think 2 months after the case was done, we got 300 of that back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah.
To get none of that money back, even especially when you're denied it, that's fucked.
Yeah.
That's shiesty.
Yeah.
That screams of reeks of injustice.
No, I agree.
know.
I agree.
I'm just sorry. I'm like, this is like,
America!
like, I mean, dude, Lamb of God is like, they're awesome. You know? Like, we've gone to their shows. That's probably one of the most intense live shows I've ever been to. You know, by the band, by the crowd, everything. Their music has been getting better and better. They're like one of the best. I mean, they're popular for a reason because they're fucking good.
I don't know. I guess I've seen,
know.
and then I have an opinion of him too because I've seen that DVD and they do all the behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
and he really seems like a douchebag. In my
Well,
opinion.
no, he's been sober for a year or two now. He got completely stone cold sober. I mean, you've seen Philadelphia. If you watch the Walk With Me in Hell DVD, he's drinking O'Doul's.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't drinking beer anymore.
I just can't accept the opinion of a guy who liked Nickelback. So,
Nickel Cage, dude, Nickel Cage.
especially Nickel Cage.
But I mean, the whole thing, I mean, you know, is fucked up. I mean, and you take the aside of what, you know, what a band does behind the scenes. This is like totally separate in a fucked up way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same side here. It's just I also agree that, you know, there is a process, and
Well, right.
and someone was killed. You know,
Yeah.
and everything about what's going on is wrong. And again, I think it's a different message that's trying to be done.
And don't get me wrong, it's a shame that someone died. You know, that's never a good thing. Right. Especially
Side case as well.
no, he was like the singer guitar player for a metal band from his hometown.
Yeah.
It's never good when someone dies. You know,
Right.
that's never a good thing. But the thing is, like, it, you know, it seems that they're chasing.
I know, and it's.
you know.
I guess I just hold it in several ways because, like, how many of us? What was it? Those two chicks at Clinton.
2 Girls, 1 Cup. Yeah, it was hot.
No, the two chicks that were detained in, was it North Korea?
That sounds right.
A year ago. Who really listened to that and paid attention to it?
Oh, the news reporter or her sister, or that Linda Yu's sister.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. He's getting a lot of press right now that he normally would.
But he's not.
But he's not. Like I said, the only place
The only people who know about it are metalheads.
Internet.
the only place I see updates are Blabbermouth and the Gauntlet, and the metal sucks. The only place I see this story being posted updates on are metal sites and the Virginia News. That's
Okay.
I don't see it on Huffington Post anywhere.
Well,
I mean, but the Huffington Post keeps up on a lot of shit. They have they have a big website. They have a lot of shit. I don't see it on there. I don't see it
What
on
if it's on
MSNBC.
BBC?
I don't see it on CNN. I don't see it on ABC. I don't see it on CBS.
You should look at it and see if BBC's
You know.
got anything.
The Bibic. Goddamn Brits. Bam!
Or C-SPAN. That'd be kind of.
really?
Hi, I'm Larry King. I'm here with the band Lamb of God.
I'm here, man, allowing God.
But you know, a funny side note too. Like, it's a funny, like, I mean, I've seen someone else post it too. The Lamb of God song Omerta. You know, whoever appeals to the law against his fellow man, blah blah blah. You know, if like, for a wounded man shall say to his assailant, if I die, you are forgiven. If I live, I shall kill you. If I die, you are forgiven. Such is the rule of honor. And it's like, oh, so this kid's family wants him to die a fucking honorable death. All right, like, it's just like funny and like ironic in a way. Because Randy said it himself, like, you know, Omerta. But at the same time, like
I'm surprised other bands aren't coming out.
Oh, a lot. No, they are. A lot of bands are.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm glad. There's been stuff on Blabbermouth.
See, that's the thing. That should have blown up that fucking petition.
And that's what kills me. 2.5 million fans plus all the other bands talking about it, who are trying to talk about it. But the thing is, Blabbermouth posted about it last week a bunch. I haven't seen as much this week. I'm going to the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet actually has constant updates. That's where I've been going for my updates, the Gauntlet, because they're the ones that had the video analyzed and had the audio analyzed, and they've been really keeping up on it hard. Supposedly, there's a video of a half an hour, 32 minutes of the concert available, but it's only on a Czech website, a video sharing site. So I'm really sketchy about downloading the video.
Yeah. Oh yeah, downloading it.
Well, and that's the only way to watch it. You can't actually do a stream of it. You have to download the video. So I haven't watched it. There's a 32-minute video though. If anyone wants to whore out their computer with Czech viruses, watch it. Let us know how it is.
Yeah.
Because I refuse to. This is a new computer. I refuse to whore it out with Czechoslovakian porn virus or whatever.
Yeah, but it was crazy. I remember reading the article that you guys posted yesterday. Or the day.
I normally wouldn't post those things on Podstache, but you know, there's enough metal. We're all metalheads in some way, shape, or form, and I know 3 of us have all been in Lamb of God for a while. So,
do we want random questions?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. That seems too relevant. Whatever. What is a conspiracy theory you actually believe in?
Randy Blythe.
No, I'm probably gonna lose some people with this one.
Aliens. Kennedy.
9/11.
Yeah, I'm on board.
You know what? I am too.
I could see that.
There's a couple really good documentaries that have come out recently. I will say that I'm not 100% for sure, or like I fucking believe this, but I would say that there's enough proof to say that it's very possible that it happened. I guess that's you know.
Now, everything, or just was it Building 7 or whatever?
No, what's interesting with a lot of them is that there was a lot of different news. One of the big things that I never knew about was all our jet fighters were last minute assigned on training missions, and they were way far away from this. This was all done last minute. One of the other things I think is it Building 7, how every building around it just collapsed. But the CIA building was the only one that remained unharmed, and it was like right in the middle of it.
Yeah,
like that's a little bit. And how they collapsed, is very much explosives, and you can kind of almost see squibs coming out of the sides and stuff. I just watched a documentary on it like a week ago. It was pretty cool.
Do you know which one?
It's on Netflix. I'll share it. I'll share it.
Is that Zeitgeist?
Yeah, that kind of sounds like.
But and then they had some.
Actually, go ahead.
They had some interesting video on the Pentagon too. Like the part that got hit was the only one that was the only one that had semi like it was built to somewhat take terrorist attacks, and it was the only part of it that was. And then they were talking about how good you had to be in order to fly into that area. Like a person would normally just drop and descend straight into the top, but yet he actually made this course and like went into this one section of the building. Yeah. And then the other thing is that you never saw any remains. Like with 9/11, you saw pieces of the plane and stuff, but at the Pentagon there was never anything.
Yeah,
you know,
superheat.
And then the facts that they couldn't find any of the black boxes.
Yep.
Because just the way that they look, I mean, I think they're like bright. They're like neon color. I think they're like bright orange.
Well, and they're meant to take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and they're supposed to be just like clearly visible.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fact that they couldn't find them at all, you know, is just a little suspect.
This is also something that has been. People have theories of this throughout history, like World War II and Pearl Harbor. And then I think it was in public record for, what was it? They were thinking about, you know, I can't even talk about it, because I don't know, the specifics, but they have open records, right now of plans where they were actually, taking, American planes, and they were setting them up to make it look like they were enemy planes in order to be attacked, so that we could start a war. So it's something that's always been on the minds in the government.
Yeah.
And then you got to look at all the other really shitty things too, like how much money and how much profit came from Iraq War, especially with the people in the cabinet, like Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
Blackwater.
Yeah. So
it's because we mentioned Zeitgeist. And yeah, like when I first saw that movie, I was just like, holy shit, you know, my view on the world has totally changed. Yeah. But if you actually like check the facts on it, especially like the section on like religion and stuff, you realize like a lot of it's kind of BS.
There's a lot
so
of
I was like, oh, man.
Like what part?
Just because I know there's a whole section about how the Egyptian sun god Ra is like super similar to Jesus. But then if you actually like, even if you go on the Wikipedia like site for the sun god Ra, it's like none of it matches up with Jesus at all. So just kind of like, that's just like shitty research.
Well, I mean, in the weird way to defend that, I don't know what I'm talking about necessarily. But I mean, like, if you think about the entirety of humanity, we all, in the scientific eye, came from one place and spread out from there, you know? The birth of, the cradle of civilization, you know?
Mesopotamia.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also the aliens in the fourth kind. So, I mean, it would make sense with the religious aspect of it that everything's similar, because if all of humanity came from one area, that story that was possibly created around the stars and what they believed in at the time would spread and just be taken in different directions.
And that's like how they present it. I mean, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. What was it? They also dug into, first they say like, remember like, what
9/11? Never forget.
Yeah. What they are claiming that these suicide bombers believed in is such an extremist view of that whole religion. And then the videos that they had of Osama bin Laden, which granted he's a fucking asshole, but they had it retranslated and more of the video, and it was more of a commentary of 9/11 than how they portrayed it via like Fox News and all that stuff. Yeah. So,
I mean, it's just play devil's advocate. It's with translating though, especially from such a different language of Arabic into English. You're always going to get a different meaning out of it.
Yeah.
Just because languages are so different.
Right.
And then with Zeitgeist, what were the three sections? It was religion, 9/11, and
like money.
Was it money?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like economical things. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and wait, was it just that like banking is fucked up, or is it like, oh, what's the I mean on the dollar bill?
No, it was that banking is fucked up.
Oh yeah, that part's true.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely.
What their main goal was to instill the fact that
there you go.
Like around the time of the
Great Depression,
2112 is when the bank now owns every dollar, like the incremental.
Oh, is it the idea of like a world bank or world government or something?
Because like
about
our value of money absolutely means jack shit by this time.
Yeah, because like the Treasury is actually in debt to like another company. It's
well,
because I haven't watched Zeitgeist since it first came out, which was years
same,
and years ago.
Well, one thing that they're saying now, and you got to be aware of it too. It's a little crazy. The reason right now why the U.S. currency is still where it's at is because when China buys oil, they have to convert it into U.S. dollars to pay Saudi Arabia for their oil. As soon as that stops, because it makes no sense anymore, it's useless. Our money is useless.
But I mean, as shitty as it is that like a lot of Europe is doing poorly economically. There we go. I say economically.
It's me.
But the good thing about that though is that worst name ever.
The worst family.
Because that makes the euro and everything way worse, which makes the dollar look better. Yeah. So them looking bad kind of makes us look good. So
well, like when you get, I don't know, like random side note, like the whole idea of Bush, like the government right now, everyone's bitching about them going against the Constitution and the law and stuff.
What part?
Just all the different stuff they're doing right now, like Obamacare, quote unquote Obamacare, and
all that
stuff. They say Bush went against the Constitution and certain things, and trying to quell all this stuff, and like the government conspiracy against everybody, and trying to shut down the media and start certain things. Random side note is I listen to a lot of NPR, during the day, and they had an author on there who wrote a fiction book recently. It's coming out soon called "The Impeachment of Abraham Lincoln," and it's about the idea that Abraham Lincoln, they wanted to impeach him at some point, which they kind of might have wanted to maybe. if you take what Lincoln did at the time and put it in today's context, people would have been shitting bricks because during the Civil War, Lincoln would actually shut down newspapers that disagreed with his opinion. And he was actually doing a lot of things to like blind people and push his way, which worked. I mean, like, you know,
a lot of people didn't like Lincoln during his time.
Exactly. You know, and then this whole book is a narrative on the idea of what if they of a trial if they actually wanted to impeach Lincoln. It's a fiction, and I want to read it because it sounds interesting. But I mean, the whole idea that the government's getting a lot of control, it's not right. You know, but like this is weird contradiction that like Lincoln did a lot of that shit against the Constitution,
right,
and against a lot of shit to win the Civil War which is for the greater good, for you know all men to be equal and so and yada yada. So it's just a weird kind of juxtaposition of why we view Lincoln as being so fucking great when the presidents now are doing really similar shit. The government is, but we hate it. Yeah. But I think it's just the information age kind of gives us a little bit more insight. You know?
Yeah. We gotta put a time limit on this political talk.
Well, yeah,
but I want to talk about it for
dude. No, we have to make up for the last fucking 40 minutes of poo this week.
But what I want to say is, I recently gotten I was trying to be friendly about it because I have some people like on Facebook that I kind of know, and they were just very anti-Obama, and these are the same people like. You know, just a few years ago, our previous president, you got to stand behind it. You know, this is our country. Yeah. And they're like, and then they come back and now they're saying it's your president. Yeah. It's not our president. It's your president.
It's election year.
Well, those people, fuck them. You know, like, I will say one thing. I am very disliked, almost hated President Bush, but he was still my president. You know what I mean? It was still our country.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're doing this now, like, oh my God. And it drives me up the fucking wall. And I tell you what, government was in place for one reason. It was to be able to handle the things that was too big for individual like states to handle themselves. Healthcare is one of those things right now. And it's important that we have it. They turned it into car insurance. They did. Everybody has to have it, but now people with pre-existing conditions can get covered. Yeah. And we're all going to pay a little bit, but it's going to be cheaper overall.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect, you know. I mean, it got so
you're never gonna fucking win.
Yeah, it got so diluted. You know, I can't believe he rolled over as much as he did. I wish he would have taken a little bit more of a stand.
You mentioned that no one's going to win, or however you worded it. And it's true just because it seems like everyone's just getting more and more extreme. Yeah. Like, liberals are becoming more liberal, conservatives becoming more... There's no middle ground anymore.
Well, and those words, too, those are gone, too. Like, there's no Democrat...
Bipartisanship is dead.
Well,
yeah. And there's no bipartisanship.
I'll try and make it quick, because I can see this going on very long. Just as far as, like, you know, people's views on certain presidents and stuff like that. Okay, first off... Oh, shit. Okay, first off, if you think Bush was our last president, you're an idiot. Yeah. Okay, Dick Cheney was our last president.
If even, he had a whole cabinet behind that, too.
But he was the brainchild. And then also, really quick, the people who thought, you know, people still hold JFK and Ronald Reagan in these really high regards.
Right.
I hate how much shit
how
much shit went wrong. And then, you know, for like JFK, like, oh, Cuban Missile Crisis, bullshit. You know, right. I mean, that wasn't, you know, it wasn't JFK. Right. So, I mean, it's just, you know, we have like, you know, these like hoop dreams or whatever, just like, you know.
Well, there is that really fucked up testimony, though, from one of his mistresses, quote unquote, JFK. The whole idea that he was willing to, what is it? The phrase that they said he used during the Cuban Missile Crisis was, I'd rather my children end up red than dead. So his idea
was the other way around.
No, it was red than dead. It was one of his mistresses who's come out like and wrote a big book. Who knows? Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's like that's one of the things she's saying that she had it firsthand because she was behind the scenes with him, and it makes sense to have that thoughts process. So who knows how it could have turned out?
Something I'll plug really quick was actually that it was on HBO, that movie that starred it was called The Kennedys.
Oh, I never saw it.
It was really good. So I forget what it was called, but yeah, it was on HBO.
I want to let's bring this up in the next episode. So we'll be right back.
Hey!